If Rodrygo's people find a deal and Rodrygo says, listen, these people want me, Real Madrid will be willing to listen to offers of 100 million euros.
What does the long-term future hold for these two at Real Madrid, Vinny Jr and Rodrygo? No immediate suggestions that they might be looking to move on, but it'll be interesting to see where they fit into the plans, shall we say, with Xabi Alonso. This is what they both contributed last season for them. 58 appearances for Vinny Jr, 54 for Rodrygo, 36 goals and 26 assists combined. Witty, why do you think we're talking about their futures, their long-term futures at the club? Do you think there is a sort of suggestion that one or both of them might try and move on?
I think Rodrygo is probably the more likely, but I think in the overall, the question is one of an overstuffing of the forward line. We've talked about this all year, that Kylian Mbappe came in and it was going to go one of two ways. Either he would be a force multiplier and would unlock an even greater attack than we saw the year before, albeit that was difficult after they won La Liga and the Champions League, or you were going to realize that this team was fairly imbalanced. And I think that's what bore out over the course of the year. And so I think Real Madrid, if they are looking to, which we're not certain that they are, if they are looking to offload one of these players, it would be as a means of addition by subtraction, about kind of taking investment in one area of the squad and putting it in another area of the squad. Maybe they need another central midfielder or another defender, whatever the case may be, and you can do that by getting rid of one of these attackers. You can kind of get back to a front three rather than a front four, which I think would work better for this team. I think it would be better to not have Bellingham, Rodrygo, Vinny, and Mbappe all on the same team, because we saw Carlo Ancelotti really struggling with finding balance, and you wonder if Xabi Alonso will come to the same conclusion.
We're going to start with Vinny Jr. Let's get the latest from Spain and speak to our Spanish correspondent, Phil Kitromilides. Phil, great as always to see you. What is the latest on Vinny Jr.'s contract? Because there has been some discussion that he's going to sign this huge contract, but I haven't seen a photo with him and the pen and the piece of paper yet.
Not happened yet, and until we see that big smile and him holding up the contract, it isn't done. Latest that we're hearing is that the contract talks have stalled a little bit in the last couple of weeks. Vinny's team are asking for big, seriously big money, and Real Madrid are not prepared to offer the figure that they are asking for. I've heard a figure of 35 million euros a year being asked for Vinicius, and Real Madrid more prepared to pay closer to 22 million. So those are the figures that I've heard. I think they will get this done. Obviously, his contract runs out in 2 years' time. It's not really in Real Madrid's interest for him to go into the final year of his contract. But we thought this was pretty close to being done after last year. There was serious interest from Saudi Arabia, really serious interest, which then cooled off a little bit, but it was there, it was definite, and it was a real motion. That didn't happen, and we thought that this contract would be signed over the last month or so, and it hasn't happened, and it feels like they're a little bit far away at the moment in terms of the numbers. I do expect them to get it done eventually.
Maybe somebody would go to a Real Madrid player and say, run out your contract and maybe we can get you on a free transfer. Real Madrid have never tried that before, right? But on Vinicius Jr., we see him coming off of maybe a down year in performance relative to where he was the year before, all the conversation about the Ballon d'Or. Do you still think, though, that he's an indispensable part of this team? Do you think that Real Madrid would really struggle to replace him?
Yes. There's no one in the market really that you can go out and sign to replace Vinicius Jr. unless you don't sign to replace Vinicius Jr. You shift Kylian Mbappe to the left and bring someone else in to play in through the middle, because it was a point that you were making, Chris, about the lack of balance in this squad. Vinicius wants to play on the left. Kylian Mbappe wants to play on the left. And Rodrygo would like to play on the left as well, and obviously they all can't, and that has been an ongoing problem, shall we say, for the last year or so. So yeah, he is an extraordinary player. Last season we didn't see the best of him consistently. We saw brief glimpses, but we didn't see him hit the heights and be consistent. And the job that Xabi Alonso has on his hands is to try and figure out the best way of getting the best out of him and Kylian Mbappe together, because you've got two unbelievable forwards. It's a gift for any coach to be given these two players in your team. Come and coach these two. Oh, okay, yeah, that sounds great. But then you have to figure out a way to get the best out of both of them, involving other players as well. Where does Jude Bellingham fit in? What does he do with Rodrygo? So yeah, there are questions for Xabi Alonso to answer, but it's a lovely problem for a coach to have.
Certainly is. Let's turn our attention, Phil, to Rodrygo. He popped up last season when there was a few injuries and scored some really important goals for Real Madrid in the context of those performances. But is there a sense maybe that he doesn't fit into the plans of Xabi Alonso?
Well, we barely saw him at the Club World Cup, did we? And that was pretty telling. Xabi Alonso, the party line from him is that he likes Rodrygo. He thinks he's a good player and he will be useful to him. He didn't use him in the Club World Cup. He barely even warmed up to come on as a substitute, and to see someone like Gonzalo Garcia shoot ahead of him in the pecking order was certainly eye-catching. I've heard in the last few days so many different clubs linked with Rodrygo: Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Bayern Munich, even Saudi Arabia coming in for him. He is hot property if Real Madrid were to let him go. 100 million euros is what they would ask for if someone comes in. 100 million euros for a player. He's a big moments player, and he has been for Real Madrid. He's a multiple Champions League winner, multiple La Liga winner, played nearly 200 games for Real Madrid. We're talking about an understated superstar. Who's going to come in with that kind of money? Well, there are teams who are looking for somebody like Rodrygo, and those Premier League sides, they could all feasibly come in for him. I don't think Real Madrid are necessarily going to push the deal. They don't necessarily want to push him out of the door. If Rodrygo's people find a deal and Rodrygo says, listen, these people want me, Real Madrid will be willing to listen to offers of 100 million euros.
And we see Real Madrid get so much of their business done early in this window. They have Trent done, they have Dean Howson done. Do you think that they are done as it stands right now? And here's a full look at what they've done. Mastantuono, obviously another big signing, joining from Rivera as well. Is this the lot? Is this what we'll see from this team unless they make one of those big sales that we're talking about, whether it's Rodrygo or somebody else?
Quite possibly. Quite possibly. I still can't believe that they haven't signed a central midfielder, and I've said it on the show before and I'll say it again. The absolute perfect signing for them was Martin Zubimendi, who's gone to Arsenal in the centre of the park, someone who can bring the ball out from the back, someone that Real Madrid are crying out for. So to my eye, he's worked with Xabi Alonso before, but anyway, Phil, get over it. Yeah, it didn't happen. He's gone to Arsenal, but it still felt like really they should have got Martin Zubimendi. I think they've still got an eye out for potentially a centre midfielder, maybe a little bit less down the priority is a centre back, but also they could just work with what they've got, because what they've got is an exceptionally good squad. I do think they are missing that ball playing deep lying playmaker. I do think they're missing that from the squad, and there isn't really one. And Dean Howson has come in and is brilliant bringing the ball out from the back, but he's a centre back, and you can't be relying on a centre back to be a deep lying playmaker, can you? Or maybe Xabi Alonso knows something that I don't. But yeah, Chris, in theory, I think Real Madrid are close to being done for the summer in terms of signings.
Phil, great stuff as always. I'm not sure if the suitcase is packed. You're heading over this way, aren't you, on Sunday? Going to be on Morning Footy next week. You looking forward to that?
Certainly am.